In today's world, land is perhaps the most valuable resource, and when it comes to such a valuable commodity, people can get greedy. In India, there's an institution which has been set up to manage religious endowments for the welfare of Muslims. But this institution is often blamed for grabbing land in the name of religion. Is this allegation true? What exactly is this institution, and how does it function? Hello, and welcome to this segment. Here, we bring you the news that shaped our world and explain it to you in less than 3 minutes. So, let's begin. A lot of headlines have been doing the rounds recently. Waqf Board claims land, temple land dispute, land grab. Well, what exactly is Waqf? Waqf, simply put, is an Islamic practice where one donates land or property to a mosque, a school, or a graveyard. It is also known as religious endowment. Once declared Waqf, the land cannot be sold or transferred. It is managed permanently for the community's welfare. Waqf can be used for building mosques, schools, madrasas, hospitals, or even for maintenance of graveyards. So let's understand this better with an animated explainer. Here, a man declares his property as Waqf. He leaves his worldly possessions to a mosque for the public good. His heirs have no claim on this property now. It belongs to the mosque. This is Waqf in a nutshell. Now let's try to understand Waqf in India. In India, there are over 6 lakh Waqf properties according to the government. They're managed by Waqf Boards. Every state has its own Waqf Board. There's also a Central Waqf Council. The Waqf Board comes under the Ministry of Minority Affairs. The Council functions as an advisory body. These Waqf properties can be used for a variety of purposes like running madrasas, hospitals, and even commercial complexes. The income generated is then used to fund various social programs. But there's a catch. Some of these Waqf properties are claimed by the Waqf Boards, but they don't have clear records or documents to prove their ownership. In many cases, the properties belong to temples or private citizens. So why does the Waqf Board lay claim to them? In some cases, the board claims that the land was never notified as Waqf. In others, the board says the records are with them. But the allegations of land grab continue. Last year, India's top court delivered a significant verdict on Waqf. What did the judgment say? Justice Suryakant said, "It is the duty of the Waqf Board to maintain the sanctity of Waqf property and see that it is not allowed to be used for any other purpose other than for which it was created. If any Waqf property is found to be used for any purpose other than the one for which it was created, the Waqf Board can evict the encroachers." There are several cases where the Waqf claims have been rejected, including one in Haryana's New district. Last week, the Punjab and Haryana High Court dismissed a Waqf claim on a piece of land. The court said the land belonged to the Archaeological Survey of India. The verdict was delivered in a case related to the Qutub Minar. The court said it was unfortunate that despite repeated warnings, the Waqf Board kept encroaching on the ASI's land. Now, some of you might still wonder if it's all a big scam or land grab. Well, that's difficult to say. Many legal experts argue that not all Waqf land claims are dubious. Sure, there have been instances of encroachments, but Waqf claims based on old records from the British era are hard to dispute because a lot of land records are either missing or not properly digitized. Also, boundaries were not clearly defined during the British rule. Most of the land records are incomplete and ambiguous, which leads to conflicting claims. Today, we have multiple parties claiming the same piece of land as theirs. We have the Waqf Board, the ASI, the Revenue Department, and even individuals making rival claims. So it becomes very difficult to verify who owns what. And this ambiguity allows some elements to fish out old documents and stake claim on another's property. It's a classic case of, if you snooze, you lose. Now, calling every Waqf claim a grab is like putting all Muslims in the same basket. There are legal and ethical issues involved here, and those need to be sorted out. Digitizing land records will help verify claims. A transparent land registry will help too. And while the government works towards building a foolproof system, both the Waqf Board and the citizens need to be cautious. One must respect the sanctity of faith. Communal harmony is necessary to solve such disputes. Dialogue and discussion among communities is needed. The courts will deliver justice, but at the end of the day, it's about trust. Trust between communities and trust in the rule of law. It's about protecting everyone's right to religious freedom and security of tenure. The Waqf boards need to be made more accountable and responsible. This is all about protecting everyone's right to practice their faith safely. But is it just Waqf? No, it's not. Let me show you some data. According to the National Campaign for Drafted Religious Institutions, Hindu temples manage at least 11.4 million acres of land, some of it donated, some purchased over the years. Christian organizations own around 2.7 million acres. Churches, schools, and hospitals run by them occupy around 1.6 million acres of land. So, what exactly is the problem? The problem is not religious institutions managing property. Every society, every faith, every community has the right to manage their own affairs. But there have been problems. And I will give you specific examples of encroachments on temple lands in places like Thanjavur, or illegal sale of temple property in Haryana, or the recent case of a church trust in Delhi. Not one community is immune to these problems. In 2018, the Center for Study of Society and Secularism found that in the national capital alone, 84 churches were built on government or public land. Last year, the Delhi High Court pulled up the Archaeological Survey of India for letting encroachments on protected monuments and sites. In 2014, the Supreme Court asked states to identify Waqf properties encroached upon. In some cases, the encroachers were asked to vacate the premises. In others, the Waqf Board was asked to take action. So, what is the real problem here? The real problem is outdated or missing land records, lack of transparency, political interference, and disputes over ownership. This is the problem. How can we solve it? Through better record keeping, digitization of land maps, independent audits, and by separating religious trusts from political parties. And, by the way, I'm not talking about any one state or government here. Whether it's BJP-ruled states or Congress-ruled states, the problem persists everywhere. And finally, remember this: 90% of the Waqf properties in India are outside the purview of the Waqf Act. They're governed by local laws. So when it comes to solutions, we're talking about model law reforms for all states. We need reform across all religious land trusts, whether it's Waqf or temple or church. This will protect public faith and national interest. It's not about targeting any one community or religion. Do you agree with us? Let us know in the comments. That's all for today. Hope you found this informative. This is our channel. Stay tuned for more insights and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating content.